If things keep going like they currently are in the Miami housing market, we could legitimately be looking at a market correction coming up sometime soon, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and every single month, I bring you guys the freshest market data straight from the MLS, the backbone of the real estate industry, so that you can be the most informed consumer in the land, so you can make the best decisions for yourselves and for your families. And today we are talking about Miami-Dade County single-family homes in the non-luxury range, which are all single-family homes that are $1.5 million or less. The reason why we differentiate these is because we have such an incredible, luxury real estate market here in Miami with $40 and $50 million homes that I like to group them separately to give you a more accurate picture of what's actually literally happening in the market. So in this video, we're going to be talking about everything that you need to know. So stay tuned, and we're going to jump into the data first and foremost with this graph right here, which is inventory. We're going to be talking about the number of active listings and new listings, okay? So the active listings is the green line, new listings is the blue line. Looking at the green line first, we see that number of active listings came in at 3,206, all right? Now, that's actually up 109 units from December, or a 3.5% increase month over month. And it's down 343 units year over year compared to last January, or a 9.7% reduction, okay? So you can see that, sort of since this time period, late summer of 2023, really, I guess that's early summer, but, sort of July, August was when it started to actually pick up in terms of inventory. And we've had this sort of continual steady increase of inventory since then. And, we've seen, in the last couple months here, really the last month, we see a big tick up in new listings, which is actually came in at 1,428, which is up a solid 511 units. That's what that is right there. That's a 511 unit jump right there from December to January, which is a 55.7% increase. Now, it is normal to see an increase from December to January. The reason being that, you see less new listings in December because, people aren't usually listing their properties for sale in December. They wait till the new year. They're enjoying the holidays, etc., right? Now, year over year, that 511 unit jump that got us to 1,428, that 1,428 is 142 units extra compared to last January. So we're also up on a year-over-year basis by 11%, okay? And just for a little bit of context in terms of that December to January jump, last December to January's jump was 43.4%, okay? From 895 to 1,286. So 43.4% was this jump right here. Sorry, we're looking at the new listings. Where am I at? January, here it is. So from right here, that was a 43.4% increase in the new listings. And then this one right here was, like I said, was a 55.7% increase in new listings. So a lot more people, comparatively listing units for sale in the single family home non-luxury category. Now, next up, I'm going to talk to you guys about days on market versus closed price to original price ratio. Closed price to original price ratio, in case this is your first time on my channel, all that is basically taking a ratio between what a house is originally listed for versus what it ultimately sold for, making that a percentage, and then taking an average across the entire market, okay? So it's a measure of how close are sellers getting to the list price. Okay, but first we're going to start with average days on market, which is our green line there. Came in at 65 days on market, shot up through the roof, as you can see, 17 additional days from December's 48 average days on market for a 35.4% increase in just 1 month. So that's pretty significant. However, sales are a lagging indicator. So those are represented, by sales that went under contract in December. Okay, so things tend to slow down in the holidays. It's not super uncommon to see an increase in, the December, January days on market because it's the holiday season, right? However, last January was 60 average days on market. So So it's slightly slower now at 65 days on market than it was last January. So something to keep in mind. Let's talk about that close price to original price ratio. It came in at 96.3%. You can see that here, a little bit lower, down 0.3% from December. Last January was 95.5%, okay? So sellers are getting a little closer to list price this January than they were last January. So interesting to note, the market's getting tighter, it's getting closer to parity, but there's definitely still some room in there for negotiations. So, keep that in mind if you're a buyer and, you're looking to buy in this market. Now, median sale price is up next with the number of sales. Now, we talk about median sale price versus average sale price, which normally you see average sale price because I guess people aren't, super hip on math. But when you're talking about real estate, you want to look at the median sale price because the median is the midpoint, right? Versus the average is going to be skewed by the higher priced properties. Okay. Now, even though we're breaking it down from 1.5 million and below, the median still gives you a better picture of what's actually happening in the market, out here in the real estate trenches. Okay. So the non-luxury range, $1.5 million and below, median sale price took a $5,000 dip from $580,000 to $575,000. That is a 0.9% month-over-month drop. Now, that might not sound like a lot, okay? You might say 0.9%. That doesn't save me a lot of money, Jake. How is this a big deal? Well, listen, it might not sound like a big deal from a month-over-month standpoint. However, if that happened on an annualized basis, if we annualize that, you're talking about a nearly 12%. I mean, it'd be about an 11% decrease if that happened every single month for a year, okay? So that's nothing to sneeze at, right? That could be significant savings if that continues to happen and if it turns into a trend, okay? Now, of course, having just a slight decrease 1 month doesn't necessarily, it's not a trend. We need 3 months in a row in order for it to be considered a trend. However, it could be the start of something real. And the reason why I say that is sales, which we're going to talk about in a second. But first, I want to let you know that year over year, single family homes actually increased or appreciated $75,000 or 15%. Okay. So that is definitely significant. A 15% appreciation despite having an almost 1% month over month depreciation. It's definitely not a joke. Miami single-family homes are a fantastic investment, great place to hold your money and appreciate the value of your assets, to be completely honest with you. So if that's you, if you like to make money, if you like to, invest in things that make money, give me a call. All my contact information is down below. Now, sales is the blue line there, and sales are literally at historic lows, okay? And this is part of the picture that I want to paint for you guys as to why we could be actually legitimately staring at a potential market correction. Not a crash, okay, but a potential market correction. And the reason why is because sales for January came in at historic low levels of sales of 548. Okay, 548 sales. There's no other point on this graph that came in lower than that. That's down 156 sales from January's 704 right over here, which is a 22.2% decrease month over month. Now, again, it's normal to see, sales decrease in January because sales are a lagging indicator, okay? Last December's December to January dip, though, was 740 sales to 551, which was a 25.5% drop, okay? So we're sort of in a similar range, had a bigger drop from December to January last year than we had from December to January of this year. However, pretty similar. And, again, sales are a lagging indicator. Homes that sold in January went under contract in December, which, as you know, is the holiday season. So it's not abnormal to see a big decrease in sales. The question is, in this month of February and March, are we going to see this part of the market happen? Are we going to see a big jump here in this, late winter, springtime? We don't really have seasons in Miami. So, are we going to see a February, March, April jump like we saw in 2023 that takes us up here? Or are we going to continue to see this, low sales dynamic because of high interest rates and just honestly, the economy's not doing great for a whole lot of people. Cost of living has gotten a lot more expensive. I'm personally seeing more short sales in the market, which means more distressed sales. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I want to show you this same chart on a 10-year time scale, just to give you even more context. So on a 10-year time scale here, again, same chart, median sale price, number of sales, you can see that the disparity in the number of sales and the intensity of median sale price increase, especially during the Zoom rush, okay? Now, if you look at it, over here, you can see, right, this median sale price, the increase. If we try to draw like a straight line here, you'd probably expect the median sale price right now to be closer to like 475, maybe 500, okay, rather than 575. You can really see here during the Zoom rush where the price, aspect of the market really took off, okay? And then you can see the disparity in the number of sales, how much fewer sales there are happening now than over the last 10 years, people. Even all these low points here, none of these low points over the last 10 years got even anywhere close to where we're at now in this, 500 range versus like these were like high 800. You're talking about a big difference in the number of sales there. But as far as price goes, maybe things will continue to bounce around this 575 range. It looks like we've, had over the last few months, we've had a little bit of a, stabilization in pricing, if you will. But, we'll see what happens. I think that especially if interest rates remain high and sales remain low, that is how we could see a correction in this market, okay? Think about it. If interest rates stay high, meaning buyers have less purchasing power, it's more expensive to buy and own a home and the monthly payments and all of that good stuff, right? If that remains high, while at the same time sales remain low and sellers are like, hey man, I'm trying to sell this house, but nobody's buying it. What do you think those sellers are going to have to do in order to sell the house? They're going to have to lower their price in order to meet the market, okay? That's how capitalism works, all right? It's economics 101. I don't make the rules here, okay? I'm just reporting, what it is, right? Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see, there are definitely always people who need to sell. There are also people who go on what we call fishing expeditions, and they're trying to see how much they can possibly get for a property, but they are kind of just testing the market, okay? The vast majority of people who list their home for sale, though, they do need to sell. And the reason being is because it's kind of a hassle to list your house for sale. You're not usually going to list your house for sale and deal with showings, deal with marketing, deal with contracts, deal with all these different things just for the heck of it, right? So we'll definitely see what happens. I'll be reporting on it to you guys, first and foremost. And if that's something that you'd like to see and make sure you're on top of, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for your own dang sake, okay? Now, next up is months of inventory and expired listings. Months of inventory, all that means is that if no new listings came on the market, how long would it take to sell the existing supply? And the answer is 6. 6 months of inventory. That's up from 4, okay? So look at that green line. We see, over the last year, we saw months of inventory going up, steadily. They were at 2, they went to 3, then they went to 4. Now they're up at 6 months of inventory. Now keep in mind, the decrease in sales has a big effect on that. So it's very possible that we could see something like this happen that happened, last year when the sales pick back up, months of inventory is, will go back down, assuming that we don't have like an insane onslaught of new supply, okay? So right now, months of inventory are at 6. They're up from 4. Last January was also 6 months of inventory. So again, we could see something very similar to what we saw last year, but that was actually up only 1 month from 5 months of inventory. Again, the decrease in the number of sales being so pronounced, so extreme now is what is leading to this big jump in months of inventory. Now, the blue line here is expired listings. That's exactly what it sounds like. Listings that expired. The contract between the listing agent and the seller, it expired. It's no longer valid. The house was taken off the market. And that's a measure of market activity of basically people's interest in buying versus people's interest in selling, right? So expireds came in at 1,145, which is actually down from 1,812. That's a 36.8% drop, which again, this is in this sort of holiday into the new year time. So it's normal to see a big drop in expired listings because most well, not most, but the month with the most expired listings is always December. Okay. If you look at it here, every single one of these big pops on the blue line is in December. And the reason why is, like I've explained last month, is because when people sign a listing agreement, a lot of times they'll sign it until the end of the year. They don't necessarily make it a 365-day contract or a 6-month or whatever, depending on when they sign it. They'll just say, okay, this is valid until December 31st. So a lot of listings expire on December 31st or just in December in general. Now, last December to January drop was from 2,200 expireds versus 1,812 down to 1,212 versus 1,145. That is a 44.9% drop in the number of expireds. So less of a drop, in terms of expireds, meaning there was way more expireds in last December, and then the amount of expireds that happened in January was less, versus we had a little bit less of a pop of expireds in December to now, coming down to an even lower number of expireds, okay? So less expireds. This is a factor of there being less inventory overall. This is a factor of, people who are actually looking to buy right now in this market with a high interest rate environment. They're looking to actually buy. They're not tire kickers. They're not wasting their own time. They need to buy, okay? So that's what's going on with that. And, that's what's going on with the single family home market right now in Miami-Dade. So whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, whether you're an investor, whether you're just interested in the Miami-Dade market, if you want personalized expert assistance with your specific, situation and what's going on in your life and your needs and everything, reach out to me. I am guaranteed the best bet of a realtor that you're going to find in Miami. Nobody knows the market data like I do. Nobody knows the contracts like I do. Nobody's going to be looking out for your best interest the way that I will. So, if you're somebody who is in that situation, or somebody who's in that situation, go down to the description. Trust me. Reach out to me. I'm going to take care of you like family, and you'll be very glad that you did. And I look forward to hearing from you and can't wait to help you out. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.